The Longview ISD Board of Trustees heard an update tonight on the status of the Wellness Pointe Clinic.
That clinic is operating on the Longview High School campus near the administration building. Wellness Pointe CEO Chad Jones reported the clinic is presently serving 8 students on campus and 26 Longview residents who are treated off campus. A 2-year, $700,000 federal grant will pay employees of the clinic, which currently has 2 counselors. More medical staff will be added when Longview ISD designates more space for the clinic.
In terms of really what I hope to see, I look forward to better integration with the clinic and the school staff so that we kind of keep that top of mind awareness of the resources being available and the opportunity to spread the word with parents and students on what services are available.
District officials tell us a renovation for a larger clinic will happen this summer, whether the coming bond election passes or not.